Hi, and welcome. My name is Johnny Fergan, I'm a personal coach. What I want to talk to you today is about the impending collapse of the stock market worldwide. Hi, my name is John Fergan. I'm not a financial advisor, but I want to bring to your attention the real truth about the impending collapse of the stock market worldwide. I would like first to bring to your attention the previous collapses on the stock market in recent history. The 1989 collapse. 5-6 years later, in the 95-96, the Asian crisis. And then, 4-5 years later, the dot-com in 2000. 8 years later, we had the GFC in 2008. We are now nearly 6 years since the GFC. Yet, the GFC has not been resolved. All we've done is create more debt and more debt courtesy of the Reserve Bank, printing more and more money with QE1, QE2, etc., and we do not see any of that ending in the near future. I'd like to bring to your attention about a lot of bankers that committed suicide. Have a look at a YouTube channel called AMTV, Alternative Media Television, where he goes into depth about banker suicide worldwide. I would like to bring to your attention also a fellow by the name of Peter Schiff. He goes into details, and in 2006 he predicted the GFC. He was mocked on the CNBC and Bloomberg, yet 2-3 years later he was correct. I'd like to bring to your attention, from the last collapse of the GFC, the Dow Jones Industrial Average has gone up from 6,550 roughly to around 16,500 in less than 6 years. This is crazy. We are in a massive bubble. Once we have a correction, and we will have a correction, there'll be a lot of people that have margin calls. And when that's going to be happen, a lot of people will not be able to make the margin calls, and they'll dump their property, holiday property, on the market, and to get money for those margin calls. And that will cause a massive influx of properties, and everybody will suffer. People have got a short memory. If you look back at the last corrections in the last 20 years, you'll see every boom is going to bust. On an average, we've got a boom bust in the markets between 5 to 8-9 years max. Now, once these people drop their properties on the market, there's been a massive influx of properties, and the bubble will burst in the housing market too. Till how long, again, do you think the Reserve Bank will be able to stimulate the economy, creating more and more debt and raising the ceiling of debt again and again and again? All they're doing is pushing the can further down the road. China has been buying gold and silver in quantities unimaginable, yet mainstream media do not report this. The average person looks at the price of the spot price of gold and silver for a few months, and he gives up. The trend is still there. When you look at gold and silver, we're still trending up from when gold started moving 8-9 years ago, from about $340 an ounce to $1,300 something today. Yes, we peaked at $1,900 and something, and we had a massive correction. But now, when nobody's looking at gold and silver, this is the time to stack up. I highly recommend to buy stock, buy the physical. Because if you look what I'm about to say, that if 4% of people exercise their right to buy, and there's going to be a large person on the market that will want to exercise his right to buy, and he will not be able to get that gold or silver, once that spread the news, there'll be panic on the market. This video is mainly for people that know me, but also for the world at large. And the reason I'm doing this video is because when I tell people, sometimes they take my comments in not the best way. But the reason I'm doing this video is so it'll be stayed on record. So when people will say to me, well, John, why didn't you tell me? I'll say, well, if you look at my video that I'm doing now, you'll be able to see that I actually said that we'll have a collapse in the market. Now, the million-dollar question is when and to what magnitude, but nobody can predict when and to what extent. But one thing history has shown us again and again and again, If you look at the back last 30, 40, 50 years, that every boom in the market will collapse and will rise. And this is no exception. From 6,500 on the Dow Jones to more than 16,500, it's insane. People are going now into margins that if there'll be a margin call, they'll have to sell everything. Now, once this happens, we'll have a massive problem with inflation. Today, the banks in the US are lending money at 0%. And because of that, we are having the same problems, if not the magnitude even bigger than we had at GFC in 2008. I looked at the VIX. Anybody that knows what I'm talking about? That is gone. It's rapidly going erratic, meaning we are going to see volatility and massive volatility soon in the market. Again, like I said, when nobody knows. But this is a warning for all your people. They're thinking this market will last forever. It won't. Nothing lasts. The one that wins is the one that's able to see the future when all the crowd and the sheep do not see the future. And I'm giving you this opportunity to look at what I've mentioned to you now, make your research, and look at Peter Sheep, what he's been talking about for years. Look him up on YouTube, or AMTV, Alternative Media, or a fellow by the name of The Truth Never Told. And he goes into detailed analysis that you cannot solve problems with debt with more debt. I hope this particular news is going to be beneficial to anybody in the world that's watching this video now, because you may get out, not at the top, but at least you'll preserve your capital. And I'm a big believer in gold and silver, because when we'll have a collapse in the market, and we will have one, the first thing that's going to skyrocket is going to be gold and silver. And when interest rates go up, to tackle inflation, that we are going to the inflationary period, the first thing that will go crazy is gold and silver. And all commodities for that matter. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me. As always, I'm your friend, Johnny Forget. Bye-bye.